Offbeat Intros is a section of the show devoted to learning more about the artist. The YouTube channel is to promote the show. If you would like to hear full songs, please use one of the links in the video description to listen to the full show.
This is Offbeat.
This is Offbeat.
Now it is time for Offbeat Intros, a chance to find out more about a band that you may not know about, or indeed, one that you've been following for years. The latter is actually true for me, as the album Hebron Gate was a companion of mine as I travelled around the world, particularly reminded me of my time in Fiji, actually. Bit of useless information for you, but there you go. A roots reggae band with a jazz and dub influence in there as well, which I'm sure that we will get to. I have them set as having formed in 1998 while at university, but do you know what? I don't think I'm best qualified to fill you in. So what I'm going to do is hand you over to Harrison Stafford, founder member and lead vocals for the band Groundation. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going quite well. Thank you for having me here.
Quite excited. I appreciate that you're chatting to me. I've got such good memories associated with your music of certain times of my life that I'm just really pleased to have you on the show.
Beautiful.
What I'd like to do is to throw it over to you now to kind of catch us up before we talk about the new album. So maybe fill us in as to what happened, how did Groundation start, how did it come to where we are now, standout moments, anything that you feel like chatting about, really?
Well, wow. I mean, Groundation began some 25 years ago, as you mentioned. I was at university studying jazz music, getting my degree in jazz performance. And I had an idea, a longtime love of mine, roots reggae music, to begin a project that was something unique and original and had these jazz flavors. And out of Sonoma State's jazz program, I formed the group from jazz musicians. And we began kind of learning all the roots reggae repertoire for the musicians to get more accustomed and more knowledgeable about that feel and that style of reggae. And we went in the studio almost right away. Recorded a tribute to these legends, Pablo Moses, Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, Israel Vibration. And from there, we recorded Young Tree, which was a very small recording, Each One Teach One. And then the third album, as you mentioned, Hebron Gate. And so over those years, we went from Northern California, playing in the Bay Area, roots reggae, slowly growing, to an international group. Hebron Gate, that third record, is what really blew Groundation around the world. As you mentioned, so many people really have these moments. And there's many reasons for that. It's the first record we did with the great engineer Jim Fox, and that became a real sign and a real part of the sound as well. And through the years, that was 2002 Hebron Gate. So through all these years, every 2 years or so, a new album. And we're pushing the envelope. I was very surprised at the love that we received around the world because I knew the music right away. I knew it was going to be not so easy to promote or to get people to really latch onto. You're talking about long songs through composed music, long improvised solo, odd time meters, which in reggae music is such a 4/4 common time feel, that these are really challenging things. But it was really outside of the United States, South America, Europe, where people started to take notice and say, all right, Groundation, they're doing something very unique. And there's been many different members in the group, lots of drummers and horns and backing vocals and things. But we've always been committed to roots reggae, that one drop Bob Marley sound, traditional Jamaican reggae, and this fusion of all these jazz elements that I've been mentioning. And it has served us well, and we've grown this wonderful audience around the world. So that's the story of Groundation.
Fantastic. Well, as I say, I first heard you when you're traveling around the world. I don't know if you did a similar thing when you were a bit smaller than you are now. You end up picking up music from people left, right and centre. And somebody played me Groundation while I was in Asia. And then I continued around the world. And honestly, I was there, sat in beautiful places, listening to that album. And it set me for the trip. It put me in a really positive place. And yeah, absolutely love it. So if anybody gets the chance to listen to Hebron Gate, you should, in my opinion. But do you know what? It's actually your new album that we're primarily here for. We've got it set for release on the 13th of May. I'd love to move on to that, but first, some music, I think. Title track of the album. This is Groundation and One Rock. Groundation plays on the Offbeat Reggae Radio show. It is One Rock, featuring the Congos, no less. How did that connection come about?
Wow. Congos is a big, tight, like almost family connection, really. I've known Cedric Myton, the lead singer, from his touring here in California when I was maybe 15, 16 years old. My wife actually is their longtime manager. I met my wife through doing the documentary film Holding On to Jah and interviewing the Congos. It's a film about the history of Rastafari in Jamaica. So the Congos, of course, are the legends who are part of the history and part of the head cornerstones of roots reggae music. So in thinking about this record and what was going on, this one rock idea, I mean, through the pandemic, we were losing so many of these elders, of these icons. And so I really felt the need to feature these reggae legends. And the Congos is somebody, like I said, that I've known for such a long, almost 30 years. We were talking about the featuring and whatnot. And my wife said, "So what's up? You're not going to have the Congos on the album?" And I was like, no, I'm going to have the Congos. I'm going to have the Congos. And I went in and right away, Groundation, we've been jamming this kind of medium groove thing that we have this idea for. And right away, that one rock that we dep on. Just remember, it's my father's home. I just heard Cedric and Ashanti Roy and Wati, these three such dynamic and powerful vocals singing that song. And they did it perfectly and brilliantly. And, so it was a very logical and easy connection to say, let's feature the Congos.
Nice. We're going to chat about the new album in general now. We've got another one of the tracks from it, which again has some legends, let's put it, on it. But before we get there, what can you tell us about your new release?
Wow, this thing is super special to me, to be honest. I think it's one of the greatest recordings that Groundation has ever done. And again, the pandemic really played a role because the original sessions were postponed and we were able to take this time and demo all the parts and really look at the songs and the arrangements. And because of that, the complexity and the, sophistication, if you will, of the sound is on a new level. I mean, so many records, I'm on the deadlines to finish the arrangements and record and get it all ready for release. And this one, because we had, months and months and months to sit lyrically and the performances, I mean, it's just on a different level. As so many firsts for Groundation. Yet I also think for fans, it has so much of that roots reggae sound that I think will be very, comforting and welcoming for the long-time listeners of Groundation.
For somebody that's a brand new listener, which tracks do you think would be a good I'm going to split this into two questions, actually. Bear with me. From your previous catalogue, name one song which is a good intro to Groundation.
I mean, that's so difficult.
I know, that's what I just thought of.
You have songs that are, these ballads like Live It Up and Picture on the Wall and Smile. And then you have these real roots reggae vibes like Babylon Rule Them and these things. And then you have up-tempo lyrical arrangements like Undivided and Freedom Taking Over. I mean, it's so difficult to really say. Perhaps track one on Hebron Gate, Jaja No.
I was thinking that, but I didn't want to be too obvious.
And one thing I wanted to say about One Rock and that was that also Congos is on Hebron Gate. You had mentioned that record and Zion dreaming and I am gate. That's all Cedric and so this album, really continues the lineage of Groundation.
Well, they're quite heavily featured on Hebron Gate, are they not?
Yeah, yes, and also on Here I Am, the Congos is, and it's such a thing because these legends are not really in the studio anymore. So it's kind of, if you want to hear these foundation groups, you can hear them on the Groundation, which is, I think, something special that means a lot to me.
I actually wonder with the new record whether the next song that we're going to play is probably a good intro for that one. We've heard the track One Rock, and the next one that's coming up is one that your press release tells me is making history. So we will come to that straight after we hear from the track, including Israel Vibration and the Abyssinians. It is another exciting feature of the new album. Let's hear Original Rhythm. Wow, what a tune. Original Rhythm. And during the song, we were just saying that you love hearing someone say a certain thing.
Yeah, I mean, here right now with the new album, I love hearing it every time. Groundation featuring Is Zero Vibration and the Abyssinians.
How did that come about? I feel like I've asked the same question again.
I mean, this is like a dream. I honestly didn't even think it would be possible just because of COVID. First of all, I mean, you have the singers are all spread out. You know, you have the lead singer of Abyssinian still in Jamaica. The harmony vocalists are in Florida. You know, Easer Vibration, Skelly is in New York. Wiss is in Texas. We're here in California. I mean, it's just, how are you going to even do it? Let alone get them to agree, let alone the timing of it all. And like magic, Andy, man, the thing worked. I am really still shocked. I mean, even besides being in Groundation and doing the record, just for reggae music to have, though, I mean, I can't really think of more historical harmony groups than Israel Vibration and the Abyssinians, who are alive today. So, you know, we just lost Tabby Diamond and Bunny as well. So it's like a time that we need to really cement and remember where the music is coming from. So Israel Vibration and the Abyssinians, and the video that goes along to it, if you go on YouTube, I mean, the video is shot in all those places that I mentioned, and you see all the singers doing the song. And yeah, it's, I mean, like the press release says, it's historical. It is.
I understand what you mean about trying to put something together during the pandemic when you can't get into the same room. I was talking to a band called Burnt. I don't know if you're aware of them. It's like a full stage invasion. I think there's 9 or 10 of them. And they recorded each bit completely individually and then put it all, the entire album together in a studio.
Wow. You see, we can't do that. Improvise. We're recording on the 2-inch analog tape. There's no click track. There's no computer. It's just you. So you gotta come together and play.
Do you know what? It's two forms of impressive, though, isn't it? To be able to record an album like that, it astonishes me slightly. But then to be just generally outstanding enough to record live is also very impressive. I play didgeridoo. so anybody that plays anything that requires a bit of talent, I'm impressed with.
Yeah, and like you're saying, recording that way, there's no forgiveness. You can't fix it, you can't change it, you can't, we don't auto-tune it, we don't, so you get what you get.
You do. Right, let's talk about your influences. I've got a song lined up which I'd love for you to end on, but please feel free to talk about anybody and anyone you think that we should know about, really.
I mean, anybody and anyone is a huge thing, as a musician, a person who's loved it from, birth, every style, every genre. There's so many artists that, initially I was even thinking some jazz artists when you had asked the influences and things. But just like Groundation, I know for radio, it's, you're going to play Sketches of Spain or something. You're not going to have a song over.
I'm incredibly picky. Yeah. For the show, it needs to fit into reggae, rocksteady, roots, dub and the ska. So jazz wouldn't have been able to edge in, I'm afraid.
I did put in Stevie Wonder's If It's Magic. What a powerful vocal performance. But Midnight is a group, and Vaughn Benjamin is somebody that I really respected and admired for their work. From the first moments I heard Unpolished through a friend who got it as a what do they call that? Like a promo for the record shop. And it was great to see a band that was roots reggae, one drop, militant lyrics, thoughtful and really opening up your mind to what Vaughn was saying and singing about. So, I wanted to just recall that great man and his great works. So that Begin Your Day from the Jubilees of Zion album is such a great, like a mantra to begin with. And then you have these legends. And if people haven't heard it, and a lot of people have not, because the Congos are very famous for the heart of the Congos. But Congo Ashanti, the following album, is also very brilliant, very different. And this song, Yo-Yo, is like a testament to what they, as the beginning of Rastafari spread around the world, what they had to endure and go through. So this song, Yo-Yo, is something that if you love reggae or want to love reggae, you have to know this song.
The influence track from Harrison of Groundation. It is The Congos. It's entitled Yo-Yo. Something to throw in there just before we finish things up. Remember that the album release of One Rock, May 13th, 2022. Make a note in your diary, available on all good streaming platforms, and of course to buy, which they'd probably prefer. It is a brilliant listen. Favourites of mine being, the tracks on the album being Market Price. I like that a lot. And One Rock, of course. Who does that mega low vocal towards the end?
That's Wati. That's the baritone singer of the Congos.
Oh, mate, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
If I have too many to drink the night before and then first thing I say in the morning, I might be close to that, but still nowhere near.
Yeah, he is unreal. I know I did the guide and Jim Fox when he was playing back the tracks. He was like, man, he's like an octave below what the guide was like. It's rumbling that. Yeah, very special.
It is. Right, we're nearly done. Is there anything else that you'd like to throw in before we move on?
We're just excited. We're just so happy to see the world spinning back to normal regarding music and touring and getting closer to something that we can, step out again. And with it, the launch of this new record. I'm happy to hear that you like Market Price, which is a very adventurous song.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, there's a few of those absolutely clear and these things that are very wild. Probably some of the most wild Groundation songs in their arrangements and harmonies. But we are also, with the album, looking to tour, looking to get out. And we go to South America first at the end of May. We have shows in Brazil. And then we'll be coming for a long summer in Europe, all throughout, actually playing in the UK, in London at a festival August 7th.
Oh, fantastic.
Playing in the States in September. Look to groundation.com. So I think you're going to enjoy it.
Absolutely. Groundation.com, where you need to go to find out more about the band, where they're going to be gigging, where to get the newest and older releases, I'm sure. And also, by the way, as a featured artist, I'll be adding Groundation to the featured artist pages of offbeatreggae.com too, which will link back to you, have videos, I'll have audio to listen to on the website too.
Awesome.
Right, Harrison, thank you so much for your time. It's been absolutely lovely, but we've got to move on.
Yes, Offbeat Radio. Give thanks for the time and the experience. I wish you well until I see you.